out of two-wheeled action and back into some saloon car action with the Engen Volkswagen Cup. 18 cars coming to do battle now for this championship, and it's getting really, really close at the front end. Matthew Hodges, Matt Shorter, Sheldon van der Linde, Chris Shorter, and of course Daniel Rowe, all fighting for honours at the front end. But right now, as they get off the line, oh, it looks like the two PG Glass cars trying to find a way through there. Trevor Bland and Tasman. Matt Shorter just finding a gearbox full of nothing. They couldn't quite get off the line as well as what he'd like, and he gets the motor down into third place as they head into turn one.
Once again, Sean Reserve with a cracker start, and he's becoming the whole shot man of this series.
Didn't quite get the whole shot there into turn one. Matthew Hodges was able to outgun him, but he certainly was right on it. I have to admit and agree with you as they head into the S's now. You can see Shorter looking for an opportunity to get back up to the front end, and on his tail, Jean Gabber. What a start from him. So we've got three Masters up in the top 10. Trevor Bland just in the background there. This is Tasman Pepper's point of view. She currently lies in about 5th place. And looks like an opportunity for the young lady to go and fight out for a possible podium and even a win.
She's had some ups and downs this season, but she has had good pace, so she'll be looking to fight through. She certainly can do it here. She's a smooth driver.
Great stuff, and trying to keep out, that was Holtzhausen. Trevor Bland though running wide, and problems for the second of the PG Glass cars. And looks like a little bit of effort there just being put in, and maybe just too much under braking at the hairpin.
Well, we know these guys don't hold back at all. It's quite often you see them on three wheels through the turns, so at any given moment they could be off, and that's what Tasman Pepper's trying not to do now. Just losing touch a little bit. She's going to have to step it up. Oh, as I say that, goes back one position, and Sheldon van der Linde, in fact, a couple goes through. So Chris Shorter there, good pass.
Yeah, just capitalised on the move that Sheldon put onto Tasman and went with him. Tasman just opening up the door ever so slightly. You can't do that when you've got two hard chargers like van der Linde and Shorter on your tail. Lyle Ramsey going side by side there, as you can see. And we go on board with Lyle Ramsey. Nice recovery from this car. Remember, this is the car that backed it up into the wall in Cape Town Corner. They've completely rebuilt it, and not quite on pace just yet that he was on in Cape Town, but certainly a valiant effort to get this car at the front end.
Well, certainly. Oh, and off he goes. So Lyle Ramsey there, just as we were talking about him coming back. He must have some mental issues, psychological issues after a big crash like he had in Killarney, and that wouldn't help his cause at all.
Unfortunately, he's put him right at the back now. You can see here's the point of view. It's Duval Maritz that comes up on the inside. Late braking from Maritz, gets it out of shape. And a little tag between Maritz and Ramsey puts Ramsey onto the dirt. Maritz carries on, so I think there might be a little chat with the COC after that. Here's on board with Matthew Hodges. Look at how hard he's working. Absolutely amazing to see the concentration in those eyes. Double champion in this class, so certainly knows his way around this cockpit. And being at the front end of the field right now, he's going to be a difficult man to beat.
Well, it just shows you how hard they work in those cockpits. It's not just about sitting there enjoying the drive, changing gears, clutch, all sorts of things. As we make our way towards the finish line, it's going to be a close one, but Matthew Hodges holding on to it, and it's going to be a drag race. Yes, he's got a good line there and a fist bump as he waves to his pit crew.
Matt Hodges taking the overall and the Masters victory in race number 1. Matt Shorter comes through for the Cup victory and 2nd place. Jean Gabber, good drive, beating out Le Reserve, and van der Linde with Daniel Rowe in the top 6. Let's catch up with our race winner, Matthew Hodges.
I had an awesome start. I got off the line in 2nd place, just eased it off the start line and managed to get to turn 1 first. And then from there it was a matter of just keeping the guys behind me. They were really quick. The track was, they've resurfaced the track, so there's quite a layer of, I don't know what they call it, goo or bitumen on it, and the tyres move around quite a bit on there. So traction was key in that race. But luckily managed to come away with a win, so I'm quite happy.
A little bit more difficult to do from 6th place on the grid, but Matthew Hodges will use that experience to get him to the front end. Shorter in the turn 1 car, also looking to get a little bit higher up than what he did in race number 1. We're on board with Hodges as we start race 2.
Great start. Off the line like an absolute rocket, and he's going to need that along with Sean Reserve. So you know if you start with him, you've got a good start. Look at Sean Reserve. That's all these moves. It's either on the outside or the inside, and it's worked again up into 2nd place. How does he do it?
No, he's just incredible. And that's a great bit of driving from the Alpine Motors machine into 2nd place again. Matthew Hodges, you can see just in the background, finished up in about 5th place heading into turn number 2. And into the S's now, it's Hodges, and it's actually not the leading master. The leading master is Jean Gabber, but now the two masters are side by side, and Hodges sneaks through, getting ahead of Jean Gabber as they came through 4.
Right, on board with Tasman Pepper, looking up in front of her at Brad Liebenberg, and a trail of very, very talented drivers, and a lot of work to do for her if she wants to get up there in the top 6. Oh, Sheldon van der Linde outbraking himself as he tried to go into 2nd place, running very, very wide, and allowing Sean Reserve back into 2nd.
Managed to get back on track though and tucks in just behind that little battle. Back on board with Ramsey a bit further back here. You can see just how hard Lyle Ramsey's having to work. He has to come through the field and he's still got to fight out with a couple of cars ahead of him. Adrian Wood being one of them. The other one I think is Kuda Vazuri. Look out for Tasman Pepper just ahead of them. So you can see the battles basically have started and maintained and continued here into race number 2 as Shorter goes on the inside of Hodges and Brad Liebenberg follows him through.
Oh, good move there. He was very committed to the pass. Oh, as I say that, was committed to the pass and now starts flicking that car all over. I think it was a little nudge from behind. Somehow manages to put it back in a straight line and get going again.
Well saved, that guy. It was a little bit of help from Matthew Hodges as he came across to try and avoid and get onto the inside line. But that just sent him spinning. Here's Jean Gerber's point of view. Have a look out. There it is. Left, right, center. I got this. Catch, and eventually straight line.
Well, we saw a little look in the rearview mirror there just to see what happened, but luckily back on track again and racing. So back up in the front, Daniel Rowe has checked out, and luckily because there's been all sorts going on behind him.
Sean Loreserve, though, still sitting in second place. As you can see, John Johnson, our NASCAR driver, up there as well, having some fun. But at the front end, it is starting to tighten up a little bit. Sheldon has closed on Loreserve. Loreserve's done the same thing to Daniel Rowe. Daniel Rowe now hometown hero, trying to keep out the man from Pinetown. And you can see Sheldon van der Linde is fired up after that uncustomary mistake from our champion.
Well, it seems to be what spurs him on. A little mistake and he gets very frustrated, he gets aggressive and drives like a man-possessed Sheldon van der Linde. And look at him now, looking for a way through. He's going to have to push really hard as they make their way towards the line.
I don't think it's too late though, unfortunately. Daniel Rowe is just going to hang on for the checkered flag and take race 2's victory over Sean Loreserve and Sheldon van der Linde. Matt Shorter comes through for 4th ahead of Trevor Bland, who wins the Masters. Shorter in 6th place there in the Hollard Vivo. And then it was Matthew Hodges, 2nd in the Masters, with Jean Gerber down in 9th. We catch up with Daniel Rowe after race 2.
It was a good race. I had a great start. And it was a tough few laps. They were right on me, and I had to defend Sean right till the flag. Yeah, I'm just grateful for all the fans that I have out here today. Big support for me, and I'm just glad I got some good points.
Final bit of action for our show today, and also for the day in Engen Volkswagen Cup. Race 3 about to get underway. And it's Chris Shorter, the birthday boy, who is on pole position and looks like he might be able to convert that not only into a whole shot, but maybe even into a win.
Brad Liebenberg having to take evasive action there, and it looks like it's going to work out well for him. He's got a nice inside line, and he's going to make a few passes before he even gets to turn 1.
Goes up on the inside of John Johnson, but leading things out and getting the whole shot is Shorter. Chris Shorter beating his brother and his teammate Sheldon van der Linde into turn 1, and the 2 champion cars are tucked in for 2nd and 3rd. Then it's Matthew Hodges. Another great start from Loreserve, not as good as the first 2 though, but he's still in the hunt for the top 6. Then Jean Gerber, and wow, what a start there. This is what it's all about. On board here with Matthew Hodges as we go through the sweep.
Well, turns in a little bit earlier than Matt Shorter, just in front of him. And you can see coming out of there, no way through. He's going to have to just tuck in and bide his time and wait for a mistake. And there has been plenty of mistakes in this class in the first 2 heats.
And there's one right there heading into the hairpin, and it opens up the door. Matthew Hodges goes side by side with Shorter, Matt Shorter and Hodges. Oh, can they go side by side through this very fast one? Oh, through Chevy, that's not easy to do. But they managed to keep it on the black stuff. Only just. And they're still side by side heading towards Dunlop. Absolutely amazing driving from those 2. The Mats are at it.
There we go. We also saw Tasman Pepper in the background. She had a good line coming into the inside of that right-hander. We'll see if she's able to make a pass. She's right on her teammate as they go down the main straight. But they're going to use each other as a bit of a slipstream.
Alpine Motors, but also out of the Pepper Racing camp, and you can see that she tried to use Sean Loreserve as that slipstream effect. Didn't quite make it, but managed to keep out Trevor Bland. Look out for Bland if he comes on the right-hand side. Opportunity under braking. No, he's not quite close enough. But certainly opportunity under braking there, and problems there for Shorter. Matt Shorter's going by the wayside and falling behind. He comes back at Hodges as they go into the S's, but he lost a lot of ground heading into turn 1.
Well, Matt Shorter then did a great job to take advantage of that mistake and make a pass. You've got to use every opportunity you get.
He's trying that again. Back on board here with Lyle Ramsey as they head down into the sweep and heading up towards the top of the hill. You can see the cars starting to use a little bit more of the track than what they'd like, and running ever so slightly wide under absolute pressure that's being put on from behind, and the pressure on themselves to try and make up the gaps that they've lost at the front end. You can see Ramsey, unfortunately, hasn't had quite the right day yet, but But remember, that is a brand new car, so he's got to get it all sorted out. By the time we get to East London, I'm sure that Mike and the team will have that car on song. Checkered flag is about to come out though, and Chris Shorter has made it flag to flag victories. The lights went out, he got the whole shot, no one got past him, and the birthday boy gives himself a great present.
Well, today in second place, Sheldon van der Linde in the third heat has proven that he can drive aggressive as well if he wants to. Daniel Rowe in third, Matt Shorter, Trevor Bland winning out in the Masters. Tasman Pepper runs out the top 6.
Championship points heading into the next round. Van der Linde hangs on to the championship ahead of Hodges, but he's moved up ahead of Daniel Rowe. So an epic battle expected, but look how close it is for 4 and 5. Shorter and Bland on equal points. We caught up with race 3 winner, Chris Shorter and the birthday boy.
Just won my first race in Polo Cup, very chuffed. I wouldn't have been able to do it without the team, Etienne van der Linde and all the guys. They've worked extremely hard. And without my amazing sponsors, Hollard Insurance, Turn 1, as well as Trojan Panel Beaters. And then of course my father, without him I wouldn't be here. And yeah, just super stoked, the best birthday present I could have asked for.